The big story we're following, the mid-air collision outside of Washington, D.C. Search and recovery efforts resumed this morning to find the missing victims. The National Transportation Safety Board says it has now found key clues in its investigation. The plane, with 64 people on board, collided with an Army helicopter carrying 3 soldiers early Wednesday. First responders have now recovered at least 40 bodies. Officials say they believe no one survived the accident. Divers were able to recover the plane's black boxes, and the NTSB is now analyzing them. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Kris Van Cleave joins us now from Washington with more on this story. Kris, the NTSB says they found those black boxes now. So what kind of data may investigators be able to retrieve?
Well, there is a voice recorder and a data recorder. The data recorder records thousands of pieces of data about how the airplane was operating during that flight, leading up to this mid-air collision. So it will give investigators a host of data points as to what was going on mechanically with the airplane, how it was operating, the speed it was traveling, the height, the altitude. That's going to be an important point. So they should get almost a literal mountain of data out of that data recorder that they will need to analyze to thoroughly understand, even if they may start getting some initial data from that right away. The voice recorder, well, that has to be transcribed. There's a very laborious process that goes into how they transcribe and read out that voice recorder. That will take some time before investigators have a final transcript there. But that should document the conversation inside the cockpit. What were the pilots talking about? What were they seeing? Were they aware of this helicopter? What was going on in those final moments?
And Kris, Reagan National Airport is, now we know, one of 3 capacity-constrained airports in the country. How may that have played a role in this crash?
Well, it may or may not have. And that's certainly something investigators will look at here, is just the volume of traffic coming in and out of Washington Reagan Airport. Basically, capacity controlled or slot controlled means the FAA has determined that a certain number of flights can take off and land from this airport a day. That's capacity. They only allow that many flights. They're pre-assigned to the airlines. The airlines own those slots, and they operate them. So it may or may not be significant here, but Reagan is one of those handful of airports where the FAA has said this is what capacity is and you can't go over it.
There's also been, Kris, a lot of talk about staffing levels at the air traffic control tower. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I think what's raising some eyebrows is this report that staffing was, quote, not normal in the Washington Reagan Tower at the time of this incident. That does not mean that there weren't people in it. There were. Sources tell us that the staffing level was deemed adequate. In fact, if staffing drops below a certain point, it activates a trigger, which is the word the FAA uses, a trigger that could, for example, impact the number of planes coming and going from this airport. No trigger was activated. Staffing, they say, was adequate, but the FAA controller that was managing helicopter traffic was also managing some planes taking off and landing. That is typically, at that time of day, 2 jobs, not 1. We also understand a second controller was also doing 2 jobs, not 1. So 2 people doing the jobs of 4 around the time of this accident. That is something the NTSB will look at. Doesn't necessarily mean that was a factor, but it doesn't mean it wasn't. And understanding the workload and the communication coming out of the tower, that will be, both of those will be key parts of this investigation for sure.
Okay, some important context there. Kris Van Cleave, thank you.